As usual, Donald Trump is now making a pathetic excuse why he is not testifying in the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial. This fits a pattern that Donald Trump repeats over and over again. He says he's going to testify at a trial. Then his surrogates go out there and say, only cowards don't testify, and Donald Trump's not a coward. Then Donald Trump decides not to testify. In some cases, he even leaves the country, and then he comes up with an excuse why he didn't testify. Let's get into it. Donald Trump wrote the following on his social media. He wrote, I wanted to testify on Monday in the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial, despite the fact that I already testified successfully, answering all questions having to do with the fake, no victims, no jury lawsuit thrown at me by the corrupt, racist AG Letitia James and presided over by a Trump-hating judge who suffers from a massive case of Trump derangement syndrome and is a puppet for the crooked AG. Anyway, the judge, Arthur Engoron, put a gag order on me, even when I testify, totally taking away my constitutional right to defend myself. We are appealing, but how would you like to be a witness and not be allowed free and honest speech? All in caps. The trial is rigged. I did nothing wrong! Exclamation point, exclamation point. I mean, how pathetic can you get? The gag order imposed on Donald Trump dating back to October 3rd and also imposed on his lawyers a few weeks later and affirmed by the appellate division on Donald Trump's appeal only limits Donald Trump's ability to attack Judge Engoron's principal law clerk. Donald Trump can go after Judge Engoron. Donald Trump can go after New York Attorney General Letitia James. He did all of that in the post that he just made. The one thing he's limited from doing, which, by the way, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals in a separate proceeding said something similar. Just don't go after the families and the staff. You can go after the judge. You could go after the special counsel. Same thing what Judge Engoron said here. Just don't go after my principal law clerk. That's it. And on that basis, Donald Trump is saying that he's unable to defend himself in a case over fraudulent valuations, a civil case over the valuations of his properties. But he says he can't defend himself unless he attacks Judge Engoron's principal law clerk. How pathetic can you get? Now, I want to show you the pattern here with Donald Trump. So let's go to this pattern and then let's take it current, shall we? So let's take a look back when the January 6th committee subpoenaed Donald Trump, and Alina Habba, Donald Trump's lawyer, said that Trump should testify because he has nothing to hide. Sound familiar? Play the clip.
He's got a couple options here. He can ignore the subpoena and maybe run into a Bannon world, or he can go and plead the fifth, or he can go and testify. Any idea what you think he's going to do, and what would you recommend?
I would recommend that he cooperate, because when you have nothing to hide, that's what I always recommend. The same reason that he always comes out and speaks on any of my cases. He has no issue being deposed, even though the left-wing media would like to pretend that he does. He has no issue being subpoenaed and answering questions about what happened that day, and he shouldn't. What he did was very public, and it was really nothing other than to say to go out peacefully, as we know.
And then you recall Eric Trump spoke at that QAnon conference, which is held at the Doral property and other Trump properties and across the country. And Eric said, my father got subpoenaed from the January 6th committee. Take out the popcorn, folks. Play this clip of Eric Trump.
My father finally got a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Did anybody see this? This hoax committee, and I'm telling you, I told him a minute ago, I go, you have to go testify. You know what? Because it'll be the greatest entertainment. Who wants to pop a beer, make some popcorn, and watch Donald Trump talk about election fraud in the United States of America?
Then Donald Trump said that he was going to testify in the fraud case against Trump University. He chickened out there, did not testify there. Then Trump said that he would testify in the E. Jean Carroll trial. Remember that? Where he was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation, and the jury awarded E. Jean Carroll $5 million. What did Donald Trump do there? Oh, he fled to Scotland and Ireland, and now Donald Trump blames his attorney. But when Donald Trump was in Scotland, he said that he was going to have to leave early to attend trial. Newsflash, he did not attend the trial. He just lies over and over again. Play the clip.
I have to leave Ireland and I have to leave Scotland, where I have great properties. I have to leave early. I don't have to, but I choose to.
Will you attend the trial, Mr. President?
I'll probably attend. It's a disgrace that it's allowed to happen. It's called false accusations against a rich guy, or in my case, against a famous, rich, and political person that's leading the polls by 40 points. And I have to go back for a woman that made a false accusation about me, and I have a judge who's extremely hostile. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to confront this woman. This woman is a disgrace, and it shouldn't be allowed to happen in our country.
Being on top of your mental health game is so important. And as you know, we here at the MeidasTouch Network are working around the clock. And it's easy to fall into bad habits or routines because, well, life gets in the way, especially with your diet. Frankly, I think most people can relate. Everyday life does get in the way, making it challenging to find a healthy snack without all the sugar and junk. Now, if you're busy and constantly on the go like me, you need to try Mosh. It's a protein bar made for your brain. With 6 delicious flavors, each Mosh bar includes 12 grams of protein and is made with ingredients that support brain health like ashwagandha, lion's mane, collagen, and omega-3s. At 160 calories and only 1 gram of sugar, Mosh protein bars are the guilt-free snack your brain and body will crave. Your brain is your #1 tool, which is why Mosh protein bars were mindfully formulated by some of the top neuroscientists and functional nutritionists. Mosh now has a new line of plant-powered protein bars in 3 delicious flavors for those who want all of the protein and brain support of the original bar, now made with plant-based ingredients. I have a Mosh bar literally every day to kick off my morning, and it has totally improved my performance. I love the taste, especially of the peanut butter Mosh bar. Delicious. Not to mention the packaging, it makes it super easy to take them with me if I ever find myself hungry between meetings. Don't settle for a mediocre snack when you can nourish your body and mind with the fuel it needs to succeed. So whether you're at the gym, on the go, or living your best life, Mosh protein bars will keep your brain fit, fueled, and feeling good. Head to moshlife.com/Meidas to save 20% off plus free shipping on your first 6-count trial pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on your first 6-count trial pack, which includes all 6 mouth-watering flavors. moshlife.com/Meidas.
And here's what Donald Trump said about the E. Jean Carroll trial now, coming up with excuses why he didn't testify. He posted this past week. I did a video on it where he threw his lawyer, Joe Takitaka, under the bus. Donald Trump says, not guilty, for which I was found not guilty of rape, disgraceful trial, very unfair. I was asked by my lawyer not to attend. Quote, it was beneath me and they have no case. That was not good advice. Donald Trump saying that his lawyer, Joe Takapina, gave him bad advice to not show up, and Donald Trump blames his lawyer for it. Also, Donald Trump was found liable for sexual abuse. Donald Trump defames E. Jean Carroll in this again, saying that I knew absolutely nothing about her, that she didn't remember the year or decade. She said some amazingly inconsistent things. More defamatory statements against E. Jean Carroll there. You were found liable for sexual abuse, which the judge said is the same thing as rape. There's a technical variation in New York under the law, but you were found liable for that conduct. And now Donald Trump is doing the same thing. Just as he's throwing Joe Takapina under the bus, now he's saying, oh, I would have testified in the New York Attorney General civil fraud trial, but the gag order, it's preventing me from attacking the judge's law clerk. So how could I take the stand and talk about the financial valuations of my properties without attacking the judge's law clerk? How pathetic can you be? Now, Donald Trump was headed in this direction. We knew he was headed in this direction because last week his lawyer, Alina Habba, started saying things like that. Like, oh, with the gag order, things are very, very, very unfair. Alina Habba complained about the gag order, but said that Trump's not going to back down. He's going to testify. Remember when Alina Habba said this last week? Play this clip.
Can you tell us now whether or not he will definitely testify on Monday, Alina?
Yeah, let me be very clear. I discouraged the former president from getting on a stand with a gag order. I would never discourage the former president from testifying because, quite honestly, our plan up until now was to have him testify. He always wanted to testify, and he should testify. When he has nothing to hide, it's the best thing you could do is put this great witness on that is going to stand up and tell you the truth. But the judge in this matter this week, we asked him to lift the gag order so that he could testify fully and completely. If he sees people whispering and creating a ruckus next to him, and he has a right to address that so that the record is complete, and so do his lawyers. That was why we said, this is not fair, this is rigged, this is a banana republic. Don't give them the energy of you coming in the room. Now, he already has taken the stand on this case. He took the stand on the case in the AG's case. Now we want him on our case, but I would say, and I still say, that having any client get on a stand with a gag order as limited or large as this is a First Amendment violation, and you should not respect the court and give them the opportunity to hear you. But he is going to take the stand regardless, and he will navigate it.
And to make it even more clear, Alina Habba just said days ago that he is going to take the stand. He's not afraid. People who are afraid cower. Trump does not cower. Play this clip.
He is so firmly against what is happening in this court and so firmly for the old America that we know, not this America, that he will take that stand on Monday. He will open himself up to whatever they want because he's not afraid. People that are afraid cower. President Trump doesn't cower. We'll be back on Monday.
And then, of course, Donald Trump posted this. I mean, just look at this message. Like, just look at what it looks like. The message looks like it was just sent from someone who's got serious issues. But then as you go through it, all in caps, all commas where they don't belong, like who even writes like this? And then Donald Trump goes, for these reasons, I will not be testifying on Monday. MAGA! Exclamation point. MAGA! Exclamation point. And then today, Donald Trump posts the message that the reason that they will not be testifying is because of the gag order and saying it's corrupt and this and that. And the gag order, which, as I mentioned, only limits his ability to attack the judge's principal law clerk. And not only was that affirmed by the appellate division in New York, but in the federal judicial system, the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals found a similar compelling need to have a gag order against Donald Trump for the same types of conduct. So there you have it, folks. And look, I just think this is incredibly embarrassing. And the bottom line is that Trump and MAGA have no shame. So if you say it's embarrassing to them, they don't care. They don't care. It's all gaslighting. It's all this. It's just embarrassing to our nation. For any self-respecting nation to have somebody like this who engages in this, it's not even, it's an insult to say third grade bully behavior. I mean, the third grade bullies are far more mature than this conduct. So it's just beneath contempt. It's humiliating to our country to even have this happen. Oh, I'm a tough guy. I'm going to testify. Oh, I'm not going to testify. Oh, I would have testified, but there's a gag order that's preventing me from attacking the law clerk. Come on. We're just so much better than this as a nation. I mean, setting aside all of the horrific things he does, it's humiliating conduct for our nation. I'm Ben Meiselas. This is the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Have a good one.
Hey, Midas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.